She stood outside the door, watching the man she loved sign her away for $50 million. No argument. No hesitation. Just his signature, ending 3 years of promises in one stroke. But here's where the story takes a turn no one saw coming. As she tried to leave, a stranger stopped her. Calm, powerful, dangerous. And he said something that changed her life forever: marry me instead. She didn't know he was a Korean Mafia CEO. She didn't know he controlled empires in the shadows. And she definitely didn't know her ex-fiancé would soon be kneeling, begging, when he realized who she became. Stay till the end of this story, because the betrayal was expensive, but the revenge? Priceless. Before we continue, like this video if you enjoy intense betrayal to revenge stories like this. Subscribe so you don't miss part 2, because what happens next completely changes the power dynamics. And let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? Are you watching from Europe, the USA, the UK, Canada, or somewhere else in the world? I read every comment, and I love seeing how far this story travels. Now, let's continue. The champagne flute shattered before Amara could stop it. Through the crack in the mahogany door, she watched her fiancé sign away 3 years of her life like it was a fucking grocery receipt. $50 million for Kong Industries, the silver-haired investor said smoothly. And you marry my daughter, Jessica. Someone more appropriate for your position. Amara held her breath. Say no. Tell her to go to hell. Fight for us. Instead, Ethan Kong picked up the pen. No hesitation. No second thought. Just his signature, bold and final, ending them. Her heart didn't break. That would imply something fragile. No, this was a detonation. Every promise, every I love you, every plan they'd made exploded into nothing. She stumbled backward, her Louboutins catching on the Persian rug. She had to get out. Now. Before they saw her. Before she completely. Leaving so soon, Miss Hayes? Amara crashed into what felt like a brick wall covered in expensive fabric. Strong hands steadied her shoulders. She looked up into the face of a man who definitely wasn't on the guest list. Mid-40s, maybe 50, but aging like fine wine ages, better with time. Sharp cheekbones, dark eyes that seemed to catalog everything about her in 2 seconds, silver threading through perfectly styled black hair. His suit probably cost more than her car. Who the hell are you? She whispered. Kong Dae-sung. His voice was smooth whiskey and sin. A slight Korean accent wrapped around each word. Though most people call me Jason. I'm Ethan's uncle. Ethan doesn't have an uncle. Ethan doesn't know about me. His smile was dangerous. His father and I had a disagreement 30 years ago. I left. Now I'm back. He glanced at the study door. And from your expression, I'd say you just discovered what kind of man my nephew really is. Tears burned her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. I need to leave. You could. He released her but didn't step back. Or you could stay and hear my proposition. I'm not interested in revenge, he said simply. I'm offering you revenge. And a way to make everyone in that room regret ever underestimating you. That stopped her. I'm listening. His smile widened. Marry me instead. Amara stared at him. The chandelier light caught the silver in his hair. His cologne, cedar and something expensive, wrapped around her senses. This man was either completely insane or... You're serious. Completely. He pulled out a business card. Heavy stock, embossed lettering. Kong Dae-sung, CEO, Kong Global Enterprises. I'm worth approximately $2.8 billion. I own businesses in 3 countries. And I would very much like to watch my brother's face when his son's discarded fiancée walks back into their world as my wife. That's insane. That's business. He stepped closer, and God help her, her pulse jumped. Think about it. Ethan just traded you for money and a suitable bride. Imagine his face when you return. Not as the woman he threw away, but as someone untouchable. Someone with more power than his entire family. I don't even know you. You didn't know Ethan would betray you an hour ago either. His eyes held hers. At least I'm being honest about my intentions from the start. Behind them, voices rose in the study. Ethan's laugh, the one she used to love, cut through her. Jason extended his hand. 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes to explain, and if you're not interested, I disappear forever. Amara should have walked away. Should have gone home, eaten ice cream, cried like a normal person whose engagement just imploded. Instead, she took his hand. 5 minutes. His smile promised she'd need much longer than that. Jason led her to the garden, away from the mansion's windows. Fairy lights illuminated a stone bench near the fountain, and the October air bit through her emerald dress. He shrugged off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders without asking. It smelled like him, warm and expensive and dangerous. Cold? He asked. Furious, she corrected, pulling his jacket tighter. But yes, also cold. He sat beside her, maintaining a respectful distance. Up close, she could see the fine lines at the corners of his eyes, the silver at his temples. He wasn't just handsome, he was devastatingly distinguished. I'll be direct, he said. I've known about you for 18 months. Excuse me. Since your TED Talk on sustainable architecture went viral. Building beauty for everyone, I believe it was called. He smiled at her expression. 42 million views. I was in the audience in Seoul when you delivered it live. You were brilliant. You were stalking me? Researching. There's a difference. He pulled out his phone, showed her a Forbes article about her firm. Amara Hayes, 32, founder of Hayes Designs. You revolutionized urban architecture with inclusive, sustainable design. Last year's Pritzker Prize winner. Youngest black woman to ever receive it. He looked at her. You're extraordinary. And you've been wasting yourself on a man who couldn't see your worth. Amara's defenses wavered. That still doesn't explain why you want to marry a stranger. 2 reasons. His expression hardened. First, my brother Gregory. He's the reason I left America 30 years ago. He betrayed me, stole from me, built Kong Industries on my tragedy. He paused. My wife died in a car accident. 2 million in life insurance. Gregory was executor of my will. He transferred the money to himself while I was incapacitated with grief. That's horrible. That's Gregory. His voice was cold. I went to Korea, rebuilt myself, became more successful than he ever dreamed. But the betrayal. He looked at her. That never heals. And seeing his golden son throw away someone like you for a business deal? That's Gregory's influence. That's what he teaches. And the second reason? His gaze intensified. You. I want you. I've wanted you since I saw you speak with such passion about building spaces that honor all people. You think like an artist and strategize like a general. You're stunning and brilliant and fierce. He leaned closer. I want a partner, Amara. An equal. Someone who challenges me. And I think you want revenge. Damn right I do, she said before she could stop herself. He laughed, rich and genuine. There she is. The fire I saw in that TED Talk. This is crazy. We don't know each other. There's an age gap. You're, what, 50? 48. Is that a deal breaker? I don't know what my deal breakers are anymore. She stood paced. My fiancé just signed me away like property. And now some gorgeous Mafia CEO. You think I'm gorgeous? She whirled on him. Don't. He raised his hands, but his smile was pure sin. Noted. But for the record, Mafia is a strong word. I prefer grey market entrepreneur. That's the same thing. It's a more attractive thing. He stood, moved toward her. Amara, I won't lie to you. I'm not a good man by conventional standards. I have businesses that operate in shadows. I know people in very high and very low places. But I would never ask you to get involved in that side of my life. What would you ask of me? Publicly? Play the role. Be my wife at events, family gatherings. Help me reintegrate into American society with a brilliant woman by my side. He stopped in front of her. Privately? Time to see if this could become something real. Her breath caught. Real. I'm not proposing a fake marriage, Amara. I'm proposing a real one that starts as strategy and becomes. He searched her eyes. Whatever we make it. No pressure. No expectations. Just possibility. And if I want separate bedrooms? Then you'll have the entire East Wing if you want it. And if I want this to stay purely business? Then that's what it stays. His voice softened. But I hope you'll give us a chance to become more. Amara's mind raced. This was insane. Marrying a stranger, a self-admitted criminal, someone 16 years older, just for revenge? But it wasn't just revenge, was it? He was offering her power, resources, protection. A chance to throw her success in Ethan's face. And the way Jason looked at her, like she was something precious and powerful, made her feel seen for the first time in years. What's the catch? She asked. No catch. Just honesty. I want you. You want revenge. We can give each other what we need. He extended his hand again. 1 week. Research me. Investigate everything. Then call me with your answer. She should say no. This was madness. Instead, she found herself asking, what happens after I say yes? His smile was lethal. Then we make the Kong family regret everything. Amara took his card. And knew her life would never be the same. Amara spent the next 5 days doing what she did best, thorough, obsessive research. Kong Dae-sung wasn't lying about his wealth. His empire was massive, luxury hotels in Seoul, LA, and Manhattan, a cybersecurity firm worth billions, restaurants ranging from Michelin-starred to popular chains, real estate holdings across 3 continents. But then there were the rumors. Korean business forums whispered about his connections. A Seoul newspaper from 12 years ago linked him to a Yakuza crackdown, as a witness, not a perpetrator but still. Articles mentioned him in passing alongside politicians and judges, always careful, always legal, but the implications were clear. Jason Kong was powerful, dangerous, untouchable. She found one interview from 3 years ago. The journalist had asked about his personal life. I was married once, very young, he'd said. She died, and I spent 30 years building instead of living. Perhaps that was a mistake. A widower carrying 3 decades of grief. That explained the loneliness she'd sensed beneath his polished exterior. On day 3, Ethan called. Amara stared at his name flashing on her screen. Part of her wanted to let it go to voicemail. But a larger part wanted to hear what possible excuse he could offer. She answered. What? Amara, thank God. He sounded stressed. Good. We need to talk. We have nothing to talk about. Please, just listen. I made a mistake, a huge mistake. I was pressured by my father, by Mrs. Chun. I wasn't thinking straight. His voice cracked convincingly. But I've been miserable without you. I can't go through with marrying Jessica. I want you back. Amara laughed, cold and sharp. You want me back? I love you. I've always loved you. The money doesn't matter. Except it did matter. 4 days ago, it mattered enough for you to sign away our entire relationship. I panicked, but I've come to my senses now, baby. We can get past this. I'll make it up to you. Let me guess, Amara said. Mrs. Chun pulled her investment when you tried to back out. And Jessica wasn't as sweet as they promised. Silence. Then, it's not like that. It's exactly like that. She felt nothing, no heartbreak, no longing. Just contempt. You traded me like property, Ethan. You showed me exactly what I'm worth to you. Did you really think a few days and some pretty words would make me forget? Amara, be reasonable. I'm being extremely reasonable. I'm choosing not to destroy your life the way you tried to destroy mine. She paused. Stay away from me. Don't call. Don't text. Don't show up at my office. We're done. She hung up and immediately blocked his number. Her phone buzzed with texts, apologies, promises, desperate pleas. She deleted them all and felt lighter for it. That evening, she called Jason. He answered on the first ring. Amara. Just her name, but the way he said it, like it was something precious, made her stomach flutter. I have questions, she said. I have answers. Did you steal from your brother, or did he steal from you? A pause. Then, he stole from me. My wife's life insurance. 2 million. He was executor, and while I was drowning in grief, he transferred everything to himself. Built his empire with my tragedy. The pain in his voice was ancient but still raw. Why didn't you sue him? I tried. He had better lawyers, covered his tracks well enough to make it my word against his. A breath. So I left. Went to Korea, to my mother's family. Started over. Another pause. And I built something bigger than he could ever dream of. But the betrayal. His voice went hard. That never heals. Are you actually Mafia? He laughed. Such an Italian word for a Korean organization. But yes, essentially. I don't traffic drugs or people. I have lines I won't cross. But I control information, territories, certain lucrative operations. I protect my people and eliminate threats. Should I be frightened? Probably. Are you? I think I'm too angry to be frightened right now. Anger is useful. It clarifies. A pause. What did you decide? Amara looked at her reflection in the window. At 32, she'd built an empire from nothing. She'd won awards, changed industries, proved herself over and over. And Ethan had thrown her away like she was nothing. Jason was offering her power, revenge, and something else. Something that scared her more than his criminal connections. Possibility. I have conditions, she said. Name them. I keep my business completely separate. I won't be involved in anything illegal. Agreed. Your firm is yours. I want a prenup that protects both of us. My lawyers will draft something generous. Have your own attorney review it. I need honesty. Always. No more lies. You'll have complete transparency about anything that involves you. And time. Time to see if this could be real. His voice softened. All the time you need. Amara closed her eyes, took a breath, and jumped. Okay. I'll marry you, Jason Kong. The silence lasted 3 heartbeats. Then his voice, rough with emotion, you won't regret this. I better not. Because if you betray me like your nephew did, there's not a corner of this earth you'll be able to hide in. He laughed, delighted. Threatening me already. See? This is why we'll work. When do we make this official? How soon can you be ready? Give me 2 days to tell my team and pack some things. 2 days, he agreed. Then you become Mrs. Kong. And we make everyone regret underestimating you. After they hung up, Amara sat in the dark for a long time. Then she started planning what she'd wear to her wedding. And what she'd say when Ethan inevitably found out. The courthouse was surprisingly beautiful, all granite columns and gold leaf details that caught the morning light. Amara arrived in a dress she'd bought the night before. Cream silk, knee-length, with delicate lace at the collar. Not a wedding dress exactly, but not casual either. A middle ground, like everything about this arrangement. Jason was waiting on the steps, and the sight of him made her breath catch. He wore a perfectly tailored charcoal suit with a silver tie that matched the threading in his hair. He looked like he'd stepped from a magazine spread, powerful, polished, devastating. But what stopped her was his expression when he saw her. Wonder. Pure and unguarded. You look breathtaking, he said as she approached. You clean up pretty well yourself. She adjusted her purse nervously. So, we're really doing this. We're really doing this. He offered his arm. Unless you've changed your mind? No judgment if you have. She should run. This was insane. Marrying a stranger, a criminal, someone 16 years older, for revenge and possibility. Instead, She took his arm. Let's go make some terrible decisions. His laugh was warm. That's my girl. His girl. The words shouldn't have made her pulse jump, but they did. Inside, Jason introduced her to his witnesses, his attorney, Marcus, and his head of security, a terrifying woman named Jean who looked like she could kill someone with a paperclip. Welcome to the family, Miss Hayes, Jean said with a slight bow. I look forward to protecting you. Protecting me from what? Jin's smile was sharp. Everything. The ceremony was short and surreal. The judge looked bored until Jason slipped him what was probably a generous processing fee. Then he became much more enthusiastic about pronouncing them husband and wife. You may kiss your bride, the judge said. Jason looked at her, a question in his eyes. Amara made a split-second decision and leaned up, pressing her lips to his. It was supposed to be quick. Performative. Sealing the deal. But the moment their mouths met, electricity shot through her. His lips were soft, warm, and he tasted like coffee and mint. His hand came up to cup her cheek, gentle but possessive, and for 3 heartbeats the world disappeared. When they broke apart, his eyes were dark. Well, he said softly. That was unexpected. Just making it official, she managed. Then it's the best contract I've ever signed. They signed papers in a small office. Amara Hayes became Amara Kong with just a signature, and her entire life changed direction. Outside, a sleek black Mercedes waited. I figured a limo would be too much, Jason said, opening the door for her. You figured right. She slid in, and he followed, close enough that she could feel his warmth. The drive to his penthouse, their penthouse now, was comfortable. His hand rested near hers on the seat, close but not touching, respecting boundaries. Nervous? He asked. Terrified, she admitted. I just married a stranger. A strange stranger or a charming stranger? The jury's still out. He smiled. I'll work on it. The building was in Tribeca, exclusive and elegant. They rode the elevator to the top floor, and when Jason opened the door, Amara couldn't suppress her gasp. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered panoramic city views. The design was modern but warm, exposed brick, hardwood floors, carefully curated art. The furniture was expensive but lived in. This wasn't a showroom. This was a home. The master suite is through there, Jason said, pointing. But I've prepared a room for you on the opposite side. Your own bedroom, bathroom, walk-in closet, and a sitting room for privacy. Where will you sleep? The guest room, unless, he stopped. Unless you decide otherwise. Heat flared between them, sudden and intense. I'll take the suite, she said. For now. For now, he repeated, and something in his tone suggested he was filing that phrase away. He showed her to her room, beautifully decorated in soft grays and blues, with fresh flowers on the dresser and an already stocked closet. I took the liberty of having some clothes delivered, he said. Based on your sizes from research. If anything doesn't fit, we'll exchange it. She ran her hand over a beautiful silk blouse. You bought me an entire wardrobe. You're my wife. I want you to have everything you need. He pulled a small box from his pocket, including this. He opened it, and Amara's breath caught. The ring was stunning. A deep blue sapphire surrounded by diamonds, set in platinum. Elegant, unique, nothing like Ethan's generic princess cut. Sapphire, she whispered. Your birthstone. September. He slipped it onto her finger, and it fit perfectly. I wanted something that was yours. Not just any ring, but one chosen specifically for you. Amara stared at the ring, then at him. How did you know my size? His smile was mysterious. I have my ways. That's creepy. That's thorough. He stepped back. I'll let you settle in. Take your time. When you're ready, come find me. We'll figure out dinner. He left, closing the door quietly. Amara sat on the bed, looking at the ring on her finger, and wondered what the hell she'd just done. And why it felt so much like the right choice. 3 weeks passed in a strange, suspended reality that felt more real than her entire 3 years with Ethan. Amara moved her essential belongings into the penthouse. She returned to work, where her team had questions but accepted her vague explanations about a whirlwind romance. She spent evenings with Jason, learning about him, letting him learn about her. And God, the chemistry. It was there in every interaction. The way his eyes tracked her movements, how her pulse jumped when he entered a room, the accidental touches that lasted a second too long. They cooked together. Jason's Korean food was incredible, and watching him move confidently through the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, was unfairly attractive. "You're staring," he said without looking up from the kimchi jjigae he was preparing. "You're cooking. It's fascinating." "Liar. You're checking me out." "Maybe I am." She grabbed a spoon, tasted the stew. "Oh my God, that's amazing." His smile was pure satisfaction. "Wait until dessert." Cocky. Confident. He moved closer, took the spoon from her hand. "There's a difference." They watched movies, his arm gradually finding its way around her shoulders. They talked for hours about everything. Her dreams of sustainable housing developments, his plans for expanding into green energy, their shared love of terrible reality TV. He introduced her to his business associates, carefully vetted ones. A hotel magnate named David who spoke 5 languages. A tech CEO named Zara who'd revolutionized cybersecurity. A restaurateur named Chun who made Amara laugh until she cried. "Your friends are wonderful," she told Jason after a dinner party. "Our friends," he corrected. "You're part of this now." "Our." The word settled warm in her chest. She showed him her current projects, a community center in Brooklyn, plans for affordable housing in Queens. He offered surprisingly insightful feedback, asked intelligent questions, genuinely cared about her work. "You're not just humoring me," she realized one evening, spreading blueprints across the dining table. "Why would I humor you? You're brilliant." He traced a line on the blueprint. "This design here, the way you've integrated the green space with the residential areas, it's innovative. You actually understand architecture." "I understand good work when I see it." He looked at her. "And yours is extraordinary." Every day, she fell a little more. But Jason never pushed. Never assumed. He was perfectly, frustratingly gentlemanly. Until the night everything changed. They were watching a movie, some action thriller Jason had picked. Amara was hyper-aware of his proximity, the cedar scent she'd come to associate with safety and want. "Can I ask you something?" she said during a boring action sequence. "Always." "Why haven't you?" She gestured vaguely between them. "We're married, but you haven't tried anything." He turned to her, and his gaze was molten. "Because you weren't ready. And when you are, you'll tell me." "How do you know I'm not ready?" "Because when you are, you won't ask questions. You'll simply take what you want." He leaned closer. "You're not passive, Amara. When you decide you want me, I'll know." The challenge in his voice ignited something in her. "And if I decided right now?" His jaw tightened. "Then I'd ask if you're sure. If this is what you truly want, not what you think you should want. Not gratitude or obligation." "I'm sure," she whispered, surprised to find it was absolutely true. Something shifted in his expression, control giving way to hunger. "Then come here." She moved into his space, and he cupped her face with both hands, searching her eyes one last time. Then he kissed her. This wasn't like the courthouse kiss. This was fire and desperation and 3 weeks of tension finally breaking. His mouth claimed hers with skill and hunger, and she melted into him, her hands fisting in his shirt. He pulled her onto his lap, and she went willingly, straddling him as the kiss deepened. His hands slid into her hair, and she gasped against his mouth. "Amara," he groaned. "If you want to stop, don't you dare stop." He didn't. His hands mapped her body like he was memorizing every curve. Her dress rode up as she rocked against him, and the sound he made, desperate and reverent, sent heat pooling low in her belly. "Bedroom," she managed between kisses. "Which one?" "Yours. Ours. I don't care." He stood, lifting her effortlessly, and she wrapped her legs around his waist. He carried her to his room, their room, and laid her on the bed like she was something precious. "You're sure?" he asked one more time, even as his hands trembled with restraint. "Jason." She pulled him down. "I've never been more sure of anything. Thank God." He made love to her like she was a revelation, thorough, attentive, intense. He learned what made her gasp, what made her moan, what made her arch into him with desperate need. And when she shattered in his arms, his name on her lips, he followed with her name on his. After, they lay tangled together, sweaty and satisfied. "So," she said breathlessly, "that happened." He laughed against her shoulder. "That definitely happened. No regrets?" "None." He lifted his head, brushed hair from her face. Are you kidding? I'm already planning round 2. His smile was wicked. "Give me 10 minutes. Show off. You have no idea." He kissed her slowly, thoroughly. "But you're about to find out." He was right. Round 2 was even better. The morning after, Amara woke in Jason's bed, their bed, with sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows and her husband propped on one elbow, watching her with an expression so tender it made her chest ache. "Good morning, wife." She smiled sleepily. "Good morning, husband." "Regrets?" "Only that we waited 3 weeks." She stretched, and his eyes darkened as the sheet slipped. "What? You've already seen everything. Doesn't mean I'm not still appreciating the view." He leaned down, kissed her slowly. "Fair warning, I'm not good at casual. Last night changed things for me." Her heart skipped. "Changed them how?" "I'm falling for you, Amara. Fast and hard." His thumb traced her jaw. "If that's too much too soon, I'll slow down. But I won't lie about it." She should be scared. This was happening so fast. Married for 3 weeks, in love after 1 night together? But it didn't feel fast. It felt right. "I'm falling too," she admitted. His smile could have powered the city. Yeah. She pulled him down for another kiss. "Now remind me why we're getting out of this bed." "Because we have kiss, that gala tonight." She groaned. The charity thing where we make our grand debut as a couple." He grinned wickedly. "Where we absolutely destroy my brother and nephew. Remember?" Oh, right. The revenge part of their arrangement. She'd almost forgotten that's why they'd gotten married. Almost. "What time do we need to leave?" 6. Which gives us, he checked his phone, 9 hours. "And how do you propose we spend those 9 hours?" His smile was pure sin. "I have a few ideas." They spent 4 hours in bed, 2 hours cooking breakfast together, which turned into making out against the counter, and 3 hours getting ready. Amara chose a dress that would make Ethan weep, midnight blue silk that hugged every curve, with a slit-up one thigh and a back that plunged scandalously low. She looked expensive, powerful, untouchable. Jason in his tuxedo was devastating, all sharp lines and confident grace. "We look good together," she said, checking their reflection. "We look like we own the city." He offered his arm. "Ready to make them regret everything?" Hell yes. The gala was at the plaza, dripping with opulence and old money. Crystal chandeliers, champagne towers, women in designer gowns and men in tuxedos worth more than most cars. Amara could feel eyes tracking them as they entered. "Why is everyone staring?" she whispered. "Because you're breathtaking." Jason's hand was possessive on her lower back. "And because word's gotten around that I'm back in New York. With a stunning, accomplished wife." He leaned close. "Let them stare. You're untouchable now." They worked the room like a team. Jason introduced her to dozens of people, investors, politicians, other business owners. Everyone treated her with respect bordering on reverence. And she realized, it wasn't just her accomplishments. It was him. His power. They respected her because she was his. It should have bothered her. Instead, after 3 years of Ethan's family treating her like an embarrassment, being treated like a queen was intoxicating. They were at the bar, Jason ordering them drinks, when a familiar voice cut through the ambient noise. Daniel Kong. Jason went still. Then slowly, deliberately he turned. Gregory Kong stood 3 feet away, looking like he'd seen a ghost. Older, grayer, but still handsome in that patrician way. "Hello, little brother," Jason said pleasantly. "It's been a while." Gregory's eyes found Amara, and his expression cycled through shock, confusion, then something like fear. "Miss Hayes," he said slowly. "Mrs. Kong, actually." Amara held up her left hand where the sapphire caught the light. "We married last month." Gregory's face went white. "You married my brother." "Your brother?" Ethan's voice, shaky and disbelieving. "Dad, you told me you didn't have a brother." There he was, Ethan Kong, looking successful in his tuxedo with a beautiful Asian woman on his arm. Jessica Chin, presumably. Ethan's eyes found Amara, and for a second, hope flared in his expression. Then he saw Jason. Saw their joined hands. Saw the ring. "What the hell is this?" Ethan demanded. "Ethan, meet my husband. Jason Kong." Amara's smile was all teeth. "Though I believe you're related." "Related? I don't." He looked at his father. "Dad." "He's my brother," Gregory bit out. Ethan's face went through several shades of red. "You married my uncle? Are you fucking insane?" "Careful," Jason said, and his voice went cold and dangerous. "That's my wife you're addressing. She was engaged to me." "Was I?" Amara tilted her head. "I seem to recall you trading me for $50 million and a more suitable wife. How's that working out, by the way?" She turned to Jessica. "You look lovely, Jessica. Tell me, does Ethan's family actually approve of you, or are you also just a business transaction?" Jessica's expression suggested she knew exactly what she was. "You did this for revenge," Ethan accused. "You married some old criminal just to spite me. First of all, he's 48, not old. Second," she stepped closer to Jason, and his arm came around her waist. "I married a man who values me. A man who sees my worth. A man who, coincidentally, is more successful, more intelligent, and definitely better in bed than you'll ever be." Ethan's jaw dropped. "The revenge," Amara continued sweetly, "is just a delightful bonus." "This is inappropriate," Gregory sputtered. "Daniel, you haven't been part of this family for 30 years. "And whose fault is that, Gregory?" Jason's smile was sharp. "You stole from me. Built your empire on my tragedy. And you raised your son to be just as callous and short-sighted as you are." He paused. "Oh, and that Vanderbilt contract you were negotiating? I outbid you this morning. It's mine now. Just like everything else you thought was secure." Gregory's face purpled with rage. "We should go," Ethan said tightly, grabbing Jessica's arm. "Running away?" Amara called after him. "That seems to be your specialty." After they left, Jason signaled for champagne. "That went well," he observed. Amara laughed, giddy with adrenaline. "Did you see his face?" "I was too busy watching you eviscerate him with perfect politeness." He handed her a glass. "It was beautiful." "I can't believe we just did that." "We did. And now all of New York society knows you're mine. I'm back, and the Kong family dynamics just became very interesting." He raised his glass. "To new beginnings." She clinked hers against his. "To revenge." "And to us," he added softly. "To us," she agreed. And meant it with everything she had. The aftermath of the gala was immediate and intense. By the next morning, their photo was in 3 society columns. Architectural prodigy Amara Hayes weds Korean business mogul in surprise marriage read one headline, with a picture of them at the gala, Amara in her blue dress, Jason's hand possessive on her waist, both of them looking like power incarnate. The article mentioned the fascinating family connection to Kong Industries, and speculation ran wild about the estranged brothers. At her office, Amara's phone rang off the hook. Clients she'd been courting for months suddenly returned calls. Invitations to bid on prestigious projects flooded her inbox. "It's the Kong name," her business partner India observed. India was sharp-tongued and brilliant, Amara's best friend since grad school. People see you're connected to serious money and power, and suddenly you're worth their time. I didn't marry him for business connections. India raised an eyebrow. Didn't you? At least partially. Fair point. Amara smiled. But the business benefits are just a bonus. The real benefit is the mind-blowing sex? India guessed. India. Please. You're glowing like you discovered multiple orgasms for the first time. India grinned. Good for you, babe. After 3 years of mediocre Ethan, you deserve someone who knows what he's doing. He definitely knows what he's doing. I want details. Absolutely not. Ugh, fine. But I'm happy for you. India's expression sobered. Really happy. This Jason guy, he's good to you. He's. Amara struggled to find words. He sees me, India. Really sees me. Not just what I can do for him or how I make him look. He values my work, my thoughts, my dreams. And the age gap thing I worried about? It's actually kind of hot. He's confident and experienced and... Okay, I get it. Your husband is a silver fox sex god. India laughed. I'm genuinely thrilled. You deserve this. That evening, Amara came home to find Jason in his study, on the phone speaking rapid Korean. His expression was cold, and when he saw her, he immediately switched to English. Handle it. I don't care how. Just make sure it's clean. He hung up. Sorry. Business complication. The dangerous kind? The annoying kind. He pulled her into his lap. How was your day? Busy. Half of New York wants to work with me now. Because they're smart. The other half will come around. He nuzzled her neck. Are you hungry? I can make dinner. Actually, I was hoping we could go out. Like a real date. His smile was brilliant. You want to go on a date with your husband? Is that weird? It's perfect. He kissed her. Where do you want to go? Surprise me. Show me your favorite place in the city. An hour later, they were in Koreatown, at a tiny restaurant that didn't look like much from outside but smelled incredible. This place, Jason said as they settled into a booth, has the best gamjatang in New York. The owner, Mrs. Park, has been here for 40 years. She knew my mother. The food was spectacular: pork bone soup, kimchi pancakes, beef bulgogi. They ate family style, Jason explaining each dish, feeding her bites and laughing when she couldn't handle the spice. You're cute when your eyes water, he teased. Shut up and get me more water. Mrs. Park came by their table, said something in Korean to Jason that made him blush. What did she say? Amara asked. She said you're too beautiful for an old man like me, and I should treat you like a queen or she'll personally kick my ass. Amara laughed. I like her. She likes you too. She called you a good match. His expression softened. She's right. After dinner, they walked through the city, hand in hand. Jason pointed out buildings, told her stories about the neighborhood, and Amara felt something settle in her chest. This was real. This marriage, this connection. It had started as strategy, but it was becoming something so much more. They were heading home when a black SUV pulled up beside them. Jason immediately stepped in front of Amara, his body language shifting from relaxed to dangerous in a heartbeat. A man got out, expensive suit, cold eyes, Korean. Mr. Kong, the man said in accented English. Mr. Lee would like to speak with you. Tell Mr. Lee I'll call him tomorrow. He insists it be tonight. Jason's jaw tightened. Then Mr. Lee can wait. He kept his body between Amara and the man. Leave. Now. The man's eyes flicked to Amara, assessing. Your new wife is very beautiful. It would be unfortunate if... Jason moved so fast Amara barely saw it. 1 second he was beside her, the next he had the man against the SUV, forearm across his throat. If you finish that sentence, Jason said softly, dangerously, I will remove your tongue and feed it to you. Are we clear? The man nodded frantically. Jason released him. Tell Mr. Lee I'll meet him Friday. At the usual place. And if anyone goes near my wife, the deal is off and there will be consequences. Understood? Understood, Mr. Kong. The man scrambled back into the SUV, and it sped away. Jason turned to Amara, and the cold danger in his expression immediately melted into concern. Are you okay? I'm fine. You're not. She touched his hand, which was shaking slightly. Jason, what was that about? Business negotiation that's getting complicated. He pulled her close. I'm sorry you saw that. I try to keep that side of my life separate from you. Who's Mr. Lee? Jason sighed. Someone I've been trying to negotiate a territory agreement with for 6 months. He's been difficult. And now he knows about you, which means he has leverage. Leverage. You're the most important thing in my life, Amara. He cupped her face. Which makes you a potential weakness. People in my world will try to use that against me. Fear flickered through her, but she pushed it down. Can you handle it? Yes. I'll make sure you're protected. Jean will be with you when I can't be, and... Jason. She stopped him. I trust you. Just, be careful. I kind of like having a husband. His laugh was shaky. I kind of like being your husband. They went home, and Jason made love to her with an intensity that felt like reassurance, like promise. Like he was trying to memorize every inch of her in case. She pushed the thought away and lost herself in him. Later, as they lay tangled together, she said, I'm falling in love with you. He went still. Say that again. I'm falling in love with you, Jason Kong. He rolled to face her, and his eyes were bright. I'm already there, Amara. I fell the moment you threatened to hunt me down if I betrayed you. She laughed. That did it for you. That did it for me. He kissed her softly. You're it for me. All of it. Forever, if you'll have me. Forever sounds good. Yeah. Yeah. He pulled her close, and they fell asleep wrapped around each other. Neither of them saw the figure watching from the building across the street. Or the photo being taken. Or the text message being sent. Found the weakness. Proceed with phase 2.